YouTube world, back at it once again. Instant Classic 8. This tweet came across my timeline a couple of days ago. Very random. I'm not following this person, but the tweet basically showcases all of John Cena's WrestleMania matches. Has the record on there as well. And I just took a brief glance at it and just, I put a tweet out myself kind of in response to it saying like, when you lay these all out, this is not a great resume, at least just, looking at it briefly. And, some of the comments definitely agree with me. Some of them, obviously, some people were, thought that others were being very critical of it, but I don't think so. And I kind of want to go through these just to see how I still feel about them, see if I can remember how I felt then. A lot of these I've only watched one time and as it happened. I can say that some of these matches I probably remember well. Some of these matches I've probably forgotten a lot about for sure. And then some of them I haven't even seen at all. So I just want to be able to go through these briefly. I'm going to be using Cage Match to kind of help me remind me a couple of things on here. But I'm just going to go through these here. On the first match on here, we have John Cena versus Big Show. This is at WrestleMania 22. I personally don't remember a ton about this match. I was personally pretty checked out on a lot of WWE during this time period. I watched this Mania, but a lot of the stuff from it I don't recall. And again, it's just because I wasn't like fully invested in WWE at this point. I remember the match being fine. It looks like it has a solid match on a solid rating on Cage Match. Again, I think this was like one of Cena's first big title wins, if I can recall correctly. I think this was the first time that he won the U.S. title. So again, a match that I definitely don't remember on a show that, don't remember much either. The next one was WrestleMania 21. I do remember watching this show for sure. He went against JBL for the title. I remember this being a pretty average match as well. Coming off, at least for me, a really strong undercard with the Angle and Eddie Guerrero match, the Money in the Bank match, I said Angle and Guerrero, excuse me. That should have been Ray and Eddie, and then the Money in the Bank match, and then Angle and Michaels, and the other stuff as well. But those matches were really pretty standout. So for this match to kind of come behind that to be the coronation of Cena as the world champion, I thought this was it was a decent match. It didn't go very long. I don't recall it went very long, but yeah, it's not a memorable match. But Cena winning his first title was that. WrestleMania 22, this was against Triple H for the title. I remember this match very vividly. This is probably, of the bunch on here, it's probably the one I've seen the most of, just because I really enjoy that WrestleMania, mainly with it being like the last Mania that was in an arena. They were in Chicago. The fans made that show. They turned that show up. And, I thought this match, while it was, above average, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything special. I think the fans, they raised the bar on that for sure, as far as like enjoyable level on here. So I definitely remember this. This has a 7. That sounds about right. And again, I think the crowd was like the big player for that particular match. And then Cena won, which I think a lot of people thought that Triple H was going to win. Cena ended up winning that. And again, I thought it was a fun match. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. This is WrestleMania 23. I think I would believe this would be the best match of all of his WrestleMania matches. Personally, I do enjoy this match more than the match they had on Raw. I've said, I'm sure, a couple times on here, I enjoy that Raw match, but I definitely think it's overrated. It's a really good match, but I do think it's overrated. A lot of people talking about it being an hour. Of course, the match was like 45 minutes. It was just stretched out. And again, maybe because people like the ending a little bit better with Michaels winning. It was non-title, but he won the match versus Cena winning this match here. Again, I enjoyed it. The big match atmosphere. I don't recall the crowd being like super crazy about this. I haven't watched this match again in so many years. But I remember enjoying it at that time period. So this was probably his best match that he had at WrestleMania. The next year, it was a 3-way match versus Orton and Triple H for the title. I don't remember much about this. Orton was the champion. He got it when Cena got hurt. Cena came back super early, won the Royal Rumble. I don't recall how Triple H got put into this match. I mean, it's Hunter, but I just don't recall what the story was. But they had this match. For me, the most memorable thing, and this was a fine three-way. There was nothing wrong with this. The most memorable thing about this is, I believe this is when that blackout happened, or maybe it happened like a little bit earlier. And it just like the vibe and the atmosphere was definitely interesting for like the first half of the match. And again, I remember this being a solid match. Did Orton win? I assume so. Again, this was like not a great period for WWE, but I thought that match was solid. Another three-way match the next year, WrestleMania 25 versus Edge and The Big Show. I remember this being a really good match, and I think it stands out just because it was a really good match after we saw legitimately one of the greatest WWE matches of all time in Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. This match had to follow it, and I thought they did a really good job. I didn't necessarily care for the storyline going into this with like Vicky Guerrero and stuff, and that was just so lame, man. But this match was, again, I enjoyed it more than the three-way the year before. I think they did, and maybe again, that's just me. I haven't gone back to watch any of these matches. But I remember, again, being impressed on how well this match turned out after it coming after that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels match. Next year, we had WrestleMania 26 versus Batista. I was at the show. I don't know if I ever rewatched this at all. I remember enjoying this match for sure. I don't know if it was as good as that SummerSlam match they had a couple of years beforehand. But I do remember enjoying this. I think he tapped out Batista with the STFU. Yeah, I remember this being a solid match. The match at WrestleMania 27 versus The Miz, I mean, this was horrible. I was at this show as well. Obviously, we know Miz got concussed like at the beginning of the match, which ruined everything. I don't think the match was going to be any great regardless. This was just the vehicle, as everyone knows. This was just the vehicle to get to Cena versus Rock the following year. The fact that The Miz got this spot, I'm sure in real time, I think I even made a video about Miz winning the title or something like that, and I'm sure in real time I was probably fine with it because it was some newer blood in the top picture, but I don't know how excited I was for The Miz. I can tell you again, the match stunk, and I don't think anyone's surprised. Again, I don't think the concussion would have maybe been a little bit better on here, but I don't think it'd have been much better, honestly. The next year, we have the first Rock match at WrestleMania 28. Again, I was at this show. The atmosphere was awesome for this match. Everyone was like super, super hyped for it. I remember this being a fun match. Were we surprised that Cena lost? I would think so. I think I would say that I was surprised that he lost. Consider it, they saying once in a lifetime. You thought it would just been that, push towards Cena getting the torch passed to them, if you want to say that. But Rock ended up winning again. I enjoyed this match a lot. I thought it was a stronger one of Cena's WrestleMania matches, especially with the atmosphere and like the hype and build for the match. I think they did a really good job for this. So I enjoyed it a lot. The next year, WrestleMania 29, did the match against The Rock again. I remember not enjoying this. I remember not enjoying anything about this show as far as the build up. I'm pretty sure this was like I'm pretty sure I pirated this show. I know I don't think I bought it, but this was a big reason why, because I didn't really necessarily want to see Cena versus The Rock again. The match was dreading. It was so long and just nothing happening. And I think this is the one that Rock got hurt like halfway through and just not good at all. It wasn't terrible, but I did not care for this one bit. Next year, WrestleMania 30. This was against Bray Wyatt. I was at this show as well. I don't recall a lot about this match, mainly because watching that match and it coming not too long before the Taker streak ending, and that just dominated my head for the rest of the show up until the main event where Dragon won the title. And those two huge things happening, I don't remember much about this match. Obviously, I remember enjoying the build-up. I remember the Bray Wyatt had a solid entrance, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't remember much about this match. I remember seeing Cena winning, which I thought that was a bad idea. Yeah, as far as like the story of the match or anything, I just don't recall. I think it was probably Bray Wyatt trying to get Cena to turn bad or something like that. But again, it wasn't a bad match, but definitely wasn't anything great and nothing memorable as well. The next year versus Rusev is the exact same thing. This was a match that I remember being solid. Not necessarily excited for it going into it, but a solid match. The only thing I remember about this was the entrances with Miro coming out in the tank. But again, I remember the match being solid. I don't even remember who won this match. I could say that. It probably Cena. I don't think this was for like any type of championship or at all. But again, just a bang average Raw main event, I guess you can say, in that time period. Next year, they have on here appearance to help The Rock. This was at WrestleMania 32. I was there for that one. There was no match. He just came out, which I think we all kind of expected. He was hurt. I don't remember. I mean, I think he was hurt. Was the reason why he wasn't on that show, but that was just an appearance. The following year after that, WrestleMania 31. No, this is 33. Wow, man. Tag team match. Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. I don't remember anything about the match. I'm pretty sure it wasn't great. I mean, the cage match rating's not great. I remember Cena proposed at the end, and I can't even say I remember. I just recall that happening. I was looking up pictures for this video, and I saw, oh, he absolutely did propose. That was the thing that they did. But yeah, this was when I was very much starting to check out of WWE for sure. We have WrestleMania 34 versus The Undertaker. I don't understand what happened here. Why they didn't just do the match. This match should have been done. I did a video on this. I think if I can recall, it was 2010 or 2011 that I did a video saying that match needed to happen. And I'm not even a huge Cena. I'm definitely not a huge Undertaker fan, but I just felt like that match needed to happen. And I don't think it did. And maybe we were in some tag matches or something like that, but a singles match never happened. We got to this point and they did this whole, what was the story? Was Cena didn't have an opponent or something like that? Or Undertaker he wanted to wrestle the Undertaker and Undertaker wouldn't. I don't recall the story, man. It was just disappointing that they did like a 2-minute squash match. And yeah, again, this is starting when I was starting to check out of WWE. Case in point, the rest of the stuff I don't recall very much. It has surprise appearance by the Doctor of Thugonomics. This would have been WrestleMania 35. WrestleMania 35 was a show I only watched half of. I got up to the point of Kofi beating Dragon for the belt, and I stopped watching the show after that because that's all I needed to see. And I don't recall if this was before or after that. I don't remember anything. I looked up a picture. I don't recall this segment at all. Why did he come out as Dr. Thugonomics? Who knows? WrestleMania 36. This was the Firefly Funhouse match versus The Fiend. I mean, I know people like it, man. I mean, I don't know. I have not gone back to watch it. I remember, and I don't love the cinematic matches all that much. As far as like during that time period of, the pandemic and whatnot, there's only two that I enjoyed, that I can say I enjoyed. One was the AJ Styles and Undertaker match or thing. And then the thing they did this was AEW, they did at Revolution with Sting and Darby versus, I think it was Hobbs and Brian Cage. No, Starks and Brian Cage. Those are the only two that I could stomach at all. All the rest of them, and maybe like the first one, like those early Hardy whatever those things were called. But either way, most of them I could not stomach. And the night before, I got a chuckle out of the AJ Styles and Taker thing, but I did not. This was terrible, man. I just did not like this. I know I'm a Fiend hater. I just did not like anything about the Fiend. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I'm not saying anything about him, but the Fiend character is just one of the worst of all time. I never saw the appeal in it. He had the cool entrance the first time he had that match at whatever it was against Balor, and after that, I was checked out. And I just, I know people like this. It's all good. I just did not like it at all. WrestleMania 30. This would have been 39. John Cena versus Austin Theory, U.S. Championship. Who won this match? Did Cena win this match? Or was it a situation where Austin Theory beat Cena, but nothing happened from that? It's just interesting that I remember this not being good at all. I remember an entrance with Cena and like a bunch of kids or something like that. But I remember this not being a good match and nothing memorable happened. Again, I don't even recall who won. I think it was Austin Theory, but I don't remember. In the WrestleMania 40, the surprise appearance to help Cody Rhodes win the WWE Championship. I don't know if I've said this on my channel here, but personally, this is just me speaking. If you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. I ain't hating on you. Enjoy it. But I think that ending to WrestleMania 40 is very overrated. Granted, WrestleMania 40 is a show that I fell asleep on both nights before the main event. So I have not seen either of the main events. But I did see obviously the Avengers Assemble moment at the end of the Cody Rhodes and Reigns match, and I just didn't understand the appeal in it. It was a bunch of people who really didn't have, like, some people who flat out, some people maybe a little bit here, but who just did not have anything to do with the story of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. And it was a bunch of people that show up all the time. John Cena, The Undertaker, The Rock. Was there anyone else? I think everyone was looking for Steve Austin. He didn't show up. But yeah, it was a bunch of people who had nothing to do with the story, and there's people that we see all the time. Why are we freaking out over this? And it made Cody look like a chump for not being able to do it on his own. But either way, that happened. And then the Cody Rhodes match with John Cena from WrestleMania 41. I did not see this match. Didn't watch much of Mania. I saw like 2 or 3 matches from Mania total. This was not one of them. I heard it wasn't very good. I did see their SummerSlam match, and it was good. I'm not gonna say it was bad. I didn't think it was like a match of the year contender like everyone else said. So, I say all of that to say that John Cena's WrestleMania resume is pretty lackluster. 11-6. I mean, who cares about a record? But just looking back and like moments and I hate to say moments, but just like stuff that's memorable and matches that are stand out. There's not a lot of stuff on here. So yeah, I think his catalog, it might be a little overrated, but it just depends on who's overrating it. I was going to do a separate video where I talk about like my top 5 John Cena matches, but I don't know if I feel like doing that. So I might just talk about it right here. I didn't put a list together. I'm really just thinking off the top of my head. I don't even know if I can do 5, but the ones that like stand out for sure, the CM Punk matches, both of them, the Money in the Bank match and then that match they had on Raw. That match was great. One of the Owens matches was really good. I don't recall which one, because I know he had a couple. I don't recall which one I'm thinking about, but and those were good. The AJ Styles matches, mainly the SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble. I hate the Royal Rumble match a little bit, just because that is the blueprint for the main event style of WWE these days. Like the big move kick out spot, just kind of spamming that over and over. That's what WWE does on pretty much all of their main events now, and it's something I'm not a fan of. A lot of the hardcore WWE fans will tell you, for years they told you that this is how New Japan matches were, where it's just big moves, kick out, nothing means anything. Then they switched that narrative over to AEW, and AEW just does a bunch of spots and big moves and kicking out with no story behind it. When it's really matches that like this, the AJ Styles John Cena match at Royal Rumble, what was that, 2016? 2017. And then even the match they just had, the Clash and or are they Royal King Crown Royal Crown Crown Jewel, whatever the show that they had, where they had their match where they just went in there and spammed all of their rivals' finishers and did kickouts and stuff. And this is the stuff that the WWE fans that they drool over this. They go crazy over. I don't understand why they complain about other people doing it when they love it. But either way, again, that match in 2017 is the blueprint for the WWE main event style that we have today. Those big matches where it's big move kick outs, and just trying to get the crowd to react. But I still liked it, especially in that moment. I enjoyed it for sure. Anything else? I'm not thinking of the match he got against Cesaro when he had the whole U.S. title challenge thing was a lot of fun. The 3-way match with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar was sick. The match that he had with Brock when Brock came back in 2012, that was great. The last man standing match with Umaga. I'm sure some other stuff that I can't think of right now, but I mean, he's got some solid matches for sure. Again, I didn't think the WrestleMania catalog was all that strong, but I know some fans are probably thinking otherwise, which is fine. Think what you like, it's all good. Let me know what you think about his catalog and any type of top matches that I may have left out, because I'm sure I did. So let me just know what you think. Till then, it's Classic 8. Peace.